Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fitness Friday. And I am excited. We have some beautiful weather out here in Utah today. So that's always a great start to an amazing weekend. And we have a fun topic to talk about. And it's going to be very informative for me. I don't really know a lot about this topic. We're going to be talking about visceral fats and get some knowledge from my friend Coach Idris. And first, we're just going to kind of go through what changes I might need to make in my diet to meet my goal at the end of this month, which is only a few weeks away. So I'm super excited to be able to share those results with you guys. So first of all, let's welcome my friend Coach Idris. Let me introduce you to my friend Coach Idris. He is a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer with 25 years experience. Idris specializes in women's fitness through NASM. He is a nutritional counselor, certified EMT, and LVN. He has worked helping hundreds of clients from high school to professional athletes and housewives to CEOs of companies to achieve their weight loss and fitness goals. He is the former 2002 Mr. USA bodybuilding champion with 20 years of competition experience. He's also an Air Force military veteran where he served in Desert Storm as a combat medic. Everybody help me welcome my friend, Coach Idris.
Hey. What's going on?
Not much. So, except for having issues with my internet today. So hopefully that we don't have any breaks or freeze moments where I'm just like,
interruptions.
Yeah.
If
I start making funny faces at you, you know why, right?
It always gets you in the worst freaking face you could ever make. It's never cute.
Oh, we got a comment from one of our viewers, Marissa Davies. Good luck, guys. I love it. Thanks for the support.
That's awesome. You feel something bad's going to happen today? She's like, don't go on today. It's not going to go well. Good luck.
I'm starting to wonder now.
You're going to go? Okay, good luck. Do you see the future, Marissa?
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. Anytime you guys are on and you guys are watching, send us some love. I'd like to know who's watching and send us any questions that you guys have, because this is the fun of being able to do it live and be able to get you the information that you guys are wondering. So awesome. Thank you, Marissa. Okay, so I wanted to kind of just start off with where I'm at on my journey at this point and kind of talk about what changes that you would recommend for someone who is trying to get to where I'm going to be getting to by the end of the month. So again, just for those who are out there who don't really know where my journey started, I actually wanted to get to pretty much the best physical condition that I could get in before I turn 40 or by the time I turn 40. And that is in just a couple of weeks. My birthday is January 30th. Woo-woo. I'm excited. I always love my birthdays. There's nothing sad about getting older. It just means that I have more experience and I get to enjoy life that much more. And I've gotten to be here on this earth and see the amazing things that I can have it bring to my life. So, but anyway, and you've been just such an amazing support throughout my journey with everything. And I've learned a lot. Kind of what I'm looking at right now and the changes that I feel like I need to make are, I'm kind of stuck at a point right now where I feel like there are some changes.
As far as your body weight, or as far as
just kind of wanting to lean down a little bit more so that
the conditioning isn't getting any better.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, pretty much that.
Well, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. Yeah, condition in my world means how lean you look, how much of your muscle you can see. So the leaner you get, the more conditioning that is. So that's what that's what conditioning is. Yeah. So got a bunch of questions.
Let's do it.
When's the last time you've seen the scale go down?
Um, you know, I did kind of splurge a little bit over the holidays, that's for sure. But then when I went right back
Under normal
to
circumstances.
normal, yeah. Okay, I was like, after I got back to my normal eating again,
Yeah.
I actually dropped it pretty fast. But
But
spending,
but you went back to where you were before. I'm talking about from where you were before you enjoyed your holidays. Were you kind of stuck? Were you kind of stuck at a spot? Then you ate and you went up a little bit. Then you came back to that spot. Have you gone down again, or you are still at that spot?
I haven't. I'm stuck at that spot, so that's where I'm
Okay, you're
at
still
right
okay.
now.
All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. You've been plateaued for a couple of months.
Yeah, yeah. I'd probably say
Oh,
about 5 months. Yeah.
how long? How
I
long?
still feel like I would say probably about 5 months. I feel like I got really down to where I wanted to be at, and then I kind of settled in, and I don't know if that
Okay,
was just
so it wasn't that you couldn't move. You were kind of you think you backed off.
yeah, I might have backed off a little bit on some things. But now that I'm back to where I'm at, I'm kind of stuck at that point. I'm not seeing anything move. So it's kind of where I'm at right
Um,
now.
that's a lesson learned. If you don't have a goal, no, seriously, if you have a goal to look a certain way or a goal to weigh something, you don't. What do you do when you get there? And that's what happened to you. That's why I was saying to
Yeah.
you. That's why I was saying to you. Your goal should not be to get to a point, but it's okay. I'm gonna get here the best I've ever been first, and then I'm gonna stay there. It can't be I'm gonna
Yeah.
just get there because if you just get there, it's like what do I do now? But if you say I'm gonna get there and I have to stay there, you got to keep doing what you're doing. So that's number one, and it works. It's the only way people like. I don't compete anymore. So before there was a day I had to be ready. There is no day, so I have to make them up. I have to come up with reasons to stay in to stay in the game. I got to come up with reasons to not eat this. Come up with what I'm saying, and I got to have good reasons to do it. Um, and that's what you have to do. You have to find your reasons to keep on the game. So because the holidays shouldn't really affect anything. I tell everybody enjoy the holidays, but all the other the rest of the year you should be doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then the 4th of July weekend doesn't kill you. Those one little weekends here and there are nothing if the rest of your life is you're doing the right thing. That's like eating like crap all the time, and then on holidays you eat healthy. It's not going to change it. It's not going to make you healthy.
And I think where I'm at right now, like I feel about, what was it? Probably around August, I got to where I really loved the way that I looked. I really could see my abdominal muscles like poking through a little
I
bit.
remember. I remember.
Yeah, not to the degree that I want them to, and I'm kind of getting back to where that was, but I wanna be able to just lean out a little bit more so that I can, get to where I can actually see my six pack through my skin instead of just when I lay down. Because that's kinda where I was before, where I'm like, I lay down and there's no six pack," but then I'd stand up just because of that extra skin, little bit
Well, when you
extra
lay
there.
down and gravity, gravity kind of helps. I mean, I got a nice
Yeah.
six pack when I lay down, not so much when I stand.
So possibly what I would like to do is have it while I'm standing up, right?
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
I'm just
That'd be
gonna
good.
walk around, and whenever I go to the
Well, you
beach, I'm
can
gonna
do
be
it,
like,
and you got to lift your arms over your head. You got to. If you walk around with your arms over your head, you'll have it.
"Yeah, I can see that."
Blow the air out. We can work on your posing. We can always work on posing. That's a posing issue.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but okay, so do you wake up hungry?
Most mornings, I would say.
You wake up hungry, like ready to eat.
Most
Like, oh my
mornings.
god, I'm hungry.
Not every this past week, yeah, for sure, but getting to where I was this week, I wasn't as hungry, I would say.
During the holidays, you weren't as hungry.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I bet you weren't. You had lots of extra. You had a lot of extra going on during the holidays.
Oh, yeah. I love all my holiday treats, and I enjoyed every minute of
That's
it.
that's why you weren't hungry. I completely understand. That's the way. But this is what my point to everybody is. You got to live life. You don't make this into the most horrible experience in the world. Enjoy your freaking holiday. Enjoy your vacation. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing most of the time, you'll be fine. Okay. So I tease about it, but I don't really care. Okay, let the holidays done. Okay, let's get back to business. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I look. Ask anybody that I'm training right now. I'm like, had a good time? Okay. Yeah, that scale says so. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get that off again and keep going. And it just comes right off because it just came right on. It didn't get mailed to the house yet. Okay. It didn't get a voter's registration card yet. Once you keep it there for a while and it starts settling in, then it's hard to get off. But if you put it on really quick, it'll come off just as quick. So good for you for jumping on it and going back to what you were doing before. But now you're stuck. So we got to figure out how long have you been back on track?
Since January 1st. So I kind of ate a little bit extra on New Year's, and then on New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day is when I decided, yeah, I'm going back. Actually, you know what's funny is I started the day after Christmas, and then I decided not to stick with it till January 1st. I love me some good food, and I needed to just enjoy the rest of the week. That's where I was at.
Oh my God. I could have told you weren't going to start the day after Christmas. That was a nice try, though. How long that last?
Hey, I tried for a day and a half, and then I was like, then I had visitors.
I talk about training. I'm talking about eating. How long did that idea last?
I did good for a day and a half after Christmas, and then
I remembered how on my diet right after Christmas. Maybe not.
Yeah, didn't stick for me.
Oh my God, that is so funny. See, I'm so different. Like you ask her, like my wife, I'm like, I'm done. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like, I am miserable and I don't want to spend another day in this misery.
And you know what? That's what's crazy is like I actually like, okay, this was literally me and this is really sad. I shouldn't admit this, but I'm like sticking something in my mouth and I'm like,
hey, as long as you're telling the truth, the truth will set you free. Speak out loud.
Yeah, I knew I didn't want it, but at the same time, I wanted it. So
no, I enjoy my stuff, but then there's a limit. And once I hit my limit, I'm done. I don't care what day it is. I don't care what you put in front of me. I'm done. Done. Yeah. Because eventually I'm a little, because like I told you, I keep my weight within 5 pounds. So if I'm at the top of my 5 pounds, I don't do it. When I'm at the bottom, I do it. So I'm gonna drop back down again. And then when I drop back down, I'll enjoy that slice of pizza or whatever. But I don't ever make food a big deal. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with y'all. Just you know so much about it that you don't make a big deal of it anymore. You just make your decisions and you know the decisions work. So that's why most people have trouble with diets and stuff. It's because they don't really know why the diets are working. They just know they work. Like it took 20 pounds off my friend, but you don't know why it took 20 pounds off your friend. So how can you make changes if you don't really know why it's all happening? So like you knew why you went up, right? You know you were eating food. Let me change that. You know you were eating foods that made your weight go up. Yeah. But do you know the chemical breakdown of why it all happened? That's what a nutritionist needs to know. Why did those foods make that happen? Why do these foods make you lose weight? Why do these foods increase your metabolism and these don't? Why are all carbs different? Why are they so different? So that's why I like this today, talking about body fat. Like with you want to lean out, which means you need to use your stored fat in your workout. So the food you eat, you can't be taking it in. So the more energy you take in, then the body just uses the energy you took in and doesn't use the energy that's stored. Okay, so right now you need to eat. How many carb meals a day do you eat?
So I'm basically just doing kind of what we talked about in the beginning. So in the morning, I do like my 24 grams of carbs. And then for lunch, I'll do the same thing.
And what is it? What are you eating?
In the morning, I'll do my oats. Okay. So I'll do oats.
And what are you putting in it?
I have my oats with my protein shake. So I have my 25 grams of protein.
Okay. All right. And next, what's the next thing you eat? And what time? Hold up. What time is how after you wake up? How long between you waking up and you eating that?
This
Before you need, do you eat when you're hungry or do you eat because it's morning?
I have been eating because I'm hungry.
Okay.
So I last week I wasn't actually hungry until about 10 o'clock. And but this week I've been pretty much just eating it when I wake up because I've been hungry right when I wake up. So
And then your next time you're hungry is how long? How many
probably
hours?
not until 2 or 3.
Okay, good. That's about as long as you want. And then what are you eating then?
And then I do my half a cup of sweet potatoes, and then I do my 4 ounces of chicken.
Okay. No,
And
no,
then,
no veggies.
mm-mm.
Okay, next. How long? And then how long does that last?
And then I usually eat my last meal. Right now I'm doing 3 meals. I haven't really gotten up to more meals than that with just being hungry and eating when I'm hungry. But I usually between 6 and 8 is when I get hungry again.
So the first one is 7:30.
Um, Depending 5:30 or between 5:30 and 7:30, I would say.
And then the next, and then your second meal, the time is like 10, 9:30,
It's
9.
like 2 to 3, actually, 2 to 3.
The second meal in
Yeah.
the afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you have the yam,
Yeah.
and you're not hungry till that time.
I'm not.
Wow. Okay. Well, the yam got to go.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the yam's got to go. Well, because you're not eating it, you should be starving. When you do the diet the right way, you're starving all the time. Like every 2.5 hours, you're like, okay, I need to eat. But because
Yeah, and I
you're,
feel like that's where I was in August when I kind of was like,
you're
just at
not
my
right now.
pace, right? Yeah.
You're not right now. Even your breakfast shouldn't hold you that long. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of oats. So your metabolism is slowed down. That's what that tells me. Sit.
Mhm.
Well, how long you been back in the gym lifting?
I mean, I took a break during December, but I've been doing like 2 to 3 times a week for the
Since
past.
since just a month for January. Are you? How's your strength? Did it go down a little bit? Yeah.
No, no, I'm actually pretty good. Like I'm about where I was, I would say. I'm about where I was in
Okay.
lifting.
Okay. Are you going heavy? Are you challenging your strength, or are you staying within 15 reps? Are you
So
finishing?
I've been
Are you going to failure? I mean, where's your? How hard are you pushing right now?
just kind of where I was before. I feel like I'm getting really good results when I go to the gym. I'm constantly sore. I'm constantly working my muscles to where I
Are you
am
feeling it?
always
You feeling it?
in.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. As long as
Yeah.
you're feeling it. All right, cool. Um, yeah, your metabolism is a little slow. That's why that food's lasting so long. And then you're eating the
Mhm.
yam, and that's lasting till 6. Yeah, we need to pull the yam out. Do the protein in the morning's fine,
Okay.
and the carb is fine. And then wait till you're hangry, not hungry, but hangry, and
Hmm.
eat. And then take the yam out and just put veggies in there, 2 cups of
Okay.
whatever,
Same
collard
with
greens,
chicken.
kale, broccoli, whatever you want, cauliflower, but one of the fibrous vegetables. And then when you're
Okay.
hungry again, do that same type of meal. You can do a salad, or you can do a salad too. But the darker the greener, the better. When it comes
Hmm.
to veggies, you want at least 2 cups, 2 to 3 cups, because you want to fill up off of because vegetables are carbs too. So it's not like you're doing zero carbs. We're just doing zero starchy carbs. So, and we're not even doing zero. You're still doing 25 with your oatmeal in the morning. But the rest of
Yeah.
the day, I don't want any of that in. I don't want sugar in you. We need your
Okay.
body to feed off the sugar that you have stored.
Okay.
They call it glycogen. It's called glycogen, glucose. Okay, so that's what the body has. So the body has stored fuel for us to use. Most people eat too much of the wrong stuff that the body it's gonna first use what you eat. So it's using what you eat, but what you stored never changes. That's why a lot of
Yeah.
people don't drop weight. So, and it's uncomfortable to live that way because you're hungry all the time. Even after you eat, you're freaking hungry. You eat and you feel like you never ate. You're like, damn, did I just eat? Yeah, I did. I think I did eat. It's very, but that's the part about that makes this whole thing hard is you have to train that way. You have to live that way. You have to do cardio that way. And when you
Mhm.
first do it, you're tired because you took all your sugar away, you took your cocaine away. So now you don't have any energy. So most people are like, I'm so tired. I'm like, yeah, but it's like detox. Once the sugar's out of your system, your body has fuels off of different things. It doesn't need the sugar anymore. And
Yeah.
you have all of that because you have stored glycogen in you. So
Uh-huh.
now we're using that,
Okay.
especially when you do cardio. So you do need food in you when you lift. That's why you can eat before you go work out, because otherwise your blood sugar will drop too low and you'll start feeling nauseous in the gym and all that kind of stuff, which happens a lot because people don't eat enough when they're going in, and
Mhm.
they burn through their food real fast, and now they're sitting there and their stomach starts acting up.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line between how much you eat, when you eat. Usually like 45 minutes before I'll do a meal, and then I'll go work out 45 minutes later, and I'll use that meal during the workout. And if
Okay.
there's no glycogen in me, if I'm not eating carbs, then my body is forced to use the stored carbs. That's what you have to do right now. That's how you get leaner. And then the skin thins out and the subcutaneous fat thins out and everything starts to, and basically you build muscle, and then the fat, as the body fat goes down, you start to see it through the skin. The closer the fat, the skin, more fat goes out the way, the more you can see through the skin to the muscle. So that's why when people think like a lot of women are big. Wow, she's huge. She's really not big. You can just see all the muscle she has. And even if it's little, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
A muscle's pretty impressive, even if it's small. And there's no fat around it. It's just like boom, So even if it's little, it's still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's why when women work out, they think they're going to get big and muscular, and I'm like, no, you don't eat to get big. You're eating to shrink, so you're not going to get big. You can't get big
Yeah.
when you're under eating, right? Because all we're doing is feeding the muscle, and we're trying to use our own body for energy, for the energy.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to eat. You're going to do the same thing, and the training should stimulate. We're going to do a training session too to make sure I like what I'm seeing. I'm pretty sure I have 1,000 things
I
to
like it. I like it.
I'm sure I got some corrections to make, but that's okay. Yeah. So I got to make sure your training is intense enough to speed your metabolism back up, and then you'll start losing again.
Okay.
It shouldn't take but about 3 days. It shouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Sweet. Awesome. So what do you think? Should we talk about a little bit about visceral fat?
Yeah. Next week I'm gonna do a little class, like a 5-day thing on visceral fat. I did it a few years ago. A lot of people really liked it, so I thought I'd do it again. And it just basically explains about the different levels of body fat, from just regular to over 25%, over 30 pounds, whatever, morbidly obese, and what's going on the inside. Most people talk about obesity as far as visual. So you don't want to shame people, and you're right, you don't want to, but there's something going on the inside that needs to be addressed. So it shouldn't be promoted. That's what the whole Lizzo thing is. Don't promote an unhealthy lifestyle just to not body shame. No, just don't body shame. How about that? Let's just stop talking about everybody.
Yeah, and the thing is, there was something that one of my family members, actually, I think it was my mom, that was telling me that she saw this on a news report, and she was asking me about it. But she was saying, I think it was in the past 2 years, type 2 diabetes has gone up like 600%, is what they were saying on this news report,
Right,
this
because
local news
everybody's trying to achieve, because
station
now
that she
people are
was
trying to
watching.
achieve, they're trying to achieve that look. But but what's going on inside your body, because you have that much body fat, is killing you. So it's not, like
Well, I think
we look at steroids, we look at cocaine, we look at all these drugs, and everybody acts like food is not the worst one of them all. Food is the worst because you got to eat. You ain't got to do the other stuff. You got to
yeah.
eat. So when food is your problem, that's a bad problem. That's a bad
Well,
problem,
I
man.
kind of think too, like with the way that COVID hit and everybody is starting to work from home, people are starting to be afraid of even leaving their houses, and all this like body acceptance and everything that's going on. I think it's just this big combination of everybody who is making worse habits and not really caring about their health, which is crazy because we just went through one of like the biggest health crisis of our lifetimes, where we saw our whole world that was affected by people who, well, COVID especially, but those who were not taking care of their bodies, those were the ones who actually saw the worst of it, right? And so to me, I would have thought that people were going to like jump on board and be like, this is my time to get healthy, right? And because of all the changes in our world, I feel like it's actually done the opposite. And so I think this is a great topic to talk about, because I don't think that people realize, like, by accepting your body and letting it get to 300 or 400 pounds overweight, you're actually doing so much damage on the inside. And that's what we want to talk
That's
about today. So
really what it's about. Yeah, it's always somebody asks me that about when I see an obese person. I go, because I know what's going on the inside.
yeah.
I know, and I know how they're thinking on the inside because I've trained too many of them. I've trained a bunch, and they tell me the truth. They may not tell the rest. They don't tell everybody the truth, but there's a few people that they open up to. And usually, if you're a trainer, you hear things about people that they don't tell other people. And
Yeah.
I've never met a client who was, severely overweight and was happy about it. I've never seen it happen. And they'll dress cute, but they're not happy because it's uncomfortable. They know that there's stuff going on inside that, they know that it's a hard thing to do. It's hard to change. It's hard to change your habits. Most of them have tried many, 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 many times to lose weight unsuccessfully. It feels horrible. You feel horrible about yourself because you keep not being successful. So there's a lot that ties into it. So after training, like I say, women most of my life, I've heard every story, and I've seen abusive. I think I said I helped 4 women leave abusive relationships just by their self-esteem going up. It's not like I really did anything, but I would always, pump positiveness into their life, and they were losing weight and getting stronger. And I'm all, me, I'm like, I'm cheering all the time because it's a big deal. It's this is just nothing to you. And I'm like, but I'm not doing it. You are. It's a lot to you, so.
Yeah.
So that's what, that's the way that's actually how you get on a diet. Like, it's hard to stay on diets because most people don't want to do them. And if you don't want to do them, it's impossible to do if you just don't want to do it. And then somebody asked me, well, how do you want to do it? Why would I want to diet? And I'm like, well, it's not about dieting. It's really, you're making your life better and you're going to be happier, because no one loses the weight. And I've never had a person lose the weight and was pissed off about it. Never. Never. I've never had somebody say, God damn it, why'd you take all this weight off me? Like, I'm so miserable. It never happens, right? So I know for a fact that and I watched the change happen. I watched them become more confident. I watched them want more. At first it was like, oh, I just want to lose 30. Now they're like, oh no, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah, because they really, really want more. They want to see themselves at their best because they feel better about themselves. So the obesity thing, we shouldn't body shame anybody, but we also shouldn't say it's okay to not care about how high you're. And I don't even like to use the word fat. It's how high is your body fat? Because if your body fat's not high, you're just a big person. That's completely different. Like, I'm not a little, but my body fat's low. And I weigh still 245, but my body fat's like 12, 13%. So I may be big, but it's mostly muscle. I ain't talking about a person who's just a big person. I'm talking about when your body fat is actually high. And, we're going to, there's subcutaneous fat. Okay. That's right below the skin. Then there's adipose fat. And adipose is between that and the visceral in your organ. And organ fat is called visceral fat. And that's the fat that we are talking about. That's deadly. And we got pictures, and, cover your eyes. But these are serious pictures about what happens when a person, these are cadavers of organs that when people die who are obese, they take them out and they study them. So this right here is what a liver looks like when it has visceral fat. It basically invades all your organs. And then we have, what's the next one? That's a liver.
So I think one of the questions that I would have for those who don't really realize what visceral fat is, what would you say to those who don't know what that is exactly? And
it's fat that invades your organs. Once it gets to the organs, it's considered visceral fat. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing, like you're going to see later on, a heart is twice the size it's supposed to be because the fat has infiltrated it and worked its way all through it, which makes it harder for the heart to pump. So now I know a regular heart has all this room to do its thing, right? But when it has, body fat closing it around and the body suffocating it, it has to work twice as hard to pump the blood out, and it's pumping it out to a bigger area. So eventually the heart's going to stop. It's going to get worn out and it's just going to stop. And that's why you never really see huge, morbidly obese people in their 80s. You don't see it. They don't make it that far. Sometimes not in their 70s. So I always say, to people, remember, like Shaquille O'Neal, like he cannot stay that big if he plans on living if he wants to live to his 80s, because that's just too hard on the body. The heart is just too much. Even me, I lose weight as I get older because I know that even though my body fat's low, it's still a big body that my heart has to pump around. So I don't take that for granted. I keep my weight in check. But it's more important to me to keep my weight in check than taste the cheesecake. And that's just a decision that I made. And that's kind of what most people, they're one decision away from making a lot of changes. They just have to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And say, it's not that I can't do this. I choose not to do this anymore. It's killing me. And that's why I can just change the next day. Because I'm like, this isn't working for me. I'm done with it.
Yeah. And so the one on the left hand side that one's a healthy body type,
That's
right?
that's a healthy one.
And so you can actually see how all of the fat kind of surrounds all those organs within the body. And it actually looks like it's kind of just an expanded area because of all the fat that's kind of working its way around all those organs. And so you could actually even see right there how much your body would have to pump through all of that stuff to get to each of those organs. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just don't know it. You can see the blood vessels, and you see on the right, that's just fat. You can't even see the blood vessels. So could you imagine how tough it is for blood flow? So these are the things that I think people need to just know. And that's a heart. I mean, look at that. I think that's I think that's is that a liver? Liver? No, kidney. It might be a kidney.
I'm not sure.
Something out of heart. Something out of heart.
Looks like a piece of chicken to me. I don't know.
I know. Looks like yeah. We know what he's supposed to look
that off.
It's supposed to look like man. That's kind of it's nasty. Yeah. It's pretty hard. That's hard to look at, man. Wow.
Yeah.
What's the next one? I think they got a heart and a brain. That's a heart. You can see the atrial. You can see the ventricles and the atrials. The atrium. Yep. Yep. It looks like gangrene, actually. I had a patient in the hospital that had gangrene. It was gross. So you can see there, I think the bottom is getting towards the skin. And the adipose is right below the skin surface, below the subcutaneous fat.
So I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. What is it we're looking at exactly? So is this where...
Let me see. Get my cursor. Like over here these are fat cells. All these are fat, these big ones. And down here, I think I can't remember, but I think the skin, I think the arm or whatever, part of the outside of the body is down here. So I think the subcutaneous fat layer is here, but I can't tell. But these little circles are fat cells. See, these things actually shrink as you lose weight because fat cells hold water. So the subcutaneous fat cells hold water, so the adipose. So that's why cellulite starts to go down. Like I have a picture up. It's not on my thing, but I have a girl that I worked with, and I actually got cellulite off her thighs. She had double knee surgeries, and we were still able to do it. But there's certain exercises. And you have to eat clean to do it. But she did it. But so all these did was they just shrank, and it gets into the system, and then the body pees it out. So that's why you see them so prominent. But if you do a body like the show Bailey just did, these things would shrink up to like BBs. They're the size of little BBs because there's no water in them. That's how low body. When you get your body fat down, that's all you're doing is you're shrinking these things.
So cool. I had kind of a funny thing come across my social media that I clicked on because I was super intrigued. I mean, kind of the before and after results that they were showing, I think were not actually the same people. But I wanted to bring it up to you for those of you who do see it go across your feed. So what it was is it was this machine that would actually shake your body fat. So it would like sit like
That's an old one.
yeah, like you know how they used to do that and it used to be on your butt, right? And it used to
Yeah,
shake you like that was like back in
that's
the
an
40s,
old one.
right?
Yeah.
But this one's kind of like a hand massager. You hold it in your hand and like you just put it all over your fat areas, right? And your cellulite areas. And what it's saying, I was reading what it was saying that it was doing. And what it was saying is that it was actually breaking down the toxins in your fat so that you can release them. What are your thoughts
You know, I think that anything that worked that great, no one could afford it. No one could
on that,
afford
right?
it. Seriously, it's a huge.
Well, I thought
It
it was
is.
really funny.
Well, it's such a huge deal. You know, being this country is very very obese. Medical bills are high. Everything at the expense. It's a huge. It's a serious, serious, serious issue in this country. And so every person's trying to come out with a gimmick or something to get because they know that's people's biggest pain point. So they'll try to sell you that shake weight. I've done multiple infomercials doing this same thing, except they used me to tell the lie. I had a woman in the gym one time like getting mad at me. She was like, it was the Abtronics, the thing that you wrap around your belly and you put the thing on your stomach and you turn it on and it.
Yeah.
I did that. I did that
Yeah.
infomercial. I did that infomercial like 22 years in 2000. I did that infomercial. I was in Muscle Tech magazines for 7 years. I was in all their ads for Hydroxycut, all that stuff. And people would be like, you looked like that before you signed that contract. I'm like, yeah, but most people don't even look at it that way. They actually believe I got like this doing that. So I don't know why people believe it, but they do. So that's what advertising is. So, a lot of that stuff is just sad how people they want to do it. They want their weight off so bad that they'll buy it. They'll buy the shake weight. Shake your way to it. I'm like, oh my, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my God, there's no way. There's no way anyone would buy that. And people bought it, for a couple of years. They made a whole lot of money before they got shut down. But everybody's looking for the next best trick.
Well, I thought it was really funny because
it's just
I just
sad
thought it was
because
really funny
because you
because of
don't
the
change.
fact that like
This is the deal too. The thing about keep getting your weight off and keeping it off is you have to change the way you look at food. You have to actually do some changes. And pills don't change you. Surgeries don't change you. That doesn't change the way you think. But when you work on a diet program, you actually have to say no. Yeah. You have to actually weigh your food. You have to actually there's a process to get good at it. And once you're starting to get good at it, it starts to be fun because it starts to become a habit now. And it takes a while. This doesn't happen overnight. This whole thing. You do something 21 days, it takes 21 days to change a habit. Yeah, right. There's guys that go to prison for 30 years and come out and do the same thing. So, it takes way longer to change a habit. Okay. Way longer to change a habit. And you have to want the change. Even if you want the change, it takes a long time because you just kind of go back to what you're used to doing. And then you got to catch yourself. I don't do that no more. I do this now. So that's the problem is most people aren't patient enough for that whole process. Like with Bailey, it took her a year.
Yeah,
like all of us friends. Huh? Say it again.
What was that?
So
I was just saying you have to want the change. And then when you have the change, then that's when you realize that it's a new life that you're living and not something that you just go back to your old life and do. Changing a habit is something that you change and you have to keep in your life for the rest of your life.
You got to work on it every day, every single day, because you're gonna. What it is you go back and then you start going back less and less and less. But anything can spark it, but now you don't go there instantly. You catch yourself. So it can take years, but you have to actually be doing it. You have to actually do the exercise. Like soon as something happens, soon as you get ready to go eat when you're not supposed to, Then you go through your exercise. Well, why am I not going to eat? Because it makes me feel depressed. When I feel depressed, what do? I eat more. And when I eat more, what happens? If you just kind of back it up, you'll be like, whoa, and just distance yourself from the problem and go to why you even have the problem. Now you're not thinking about the problem. You're going, well, I don't really need that. This is really why I'm doing it. I need to deal with this. That's how I work
Yeah.
on everything. That's how I work on everything in my life. It's like, okay, why does this affect you the way it's affecting you? Because I don't want it to affect me this
Yeah.
way. So the only way I'm gonna deal with it is to. So when it comes to all of this, when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to dealing with, like I say, visceral fat is the problem. It's what's scary. It kills. Next week I'm gonna do a series on it. Every day I'll talk about a little bit of it. But it's a real big deal. So that's really what obesity opens up. It opens up a lot of issues with heart, congestive heart failure, just a lot of things that are life ending, and not and not it's not like it lasts forever. You could choke out your liver. You see the fat on the liver, the kidneys. You even see the brain. There's a picture. One picture, the heart is so big it's the size of a brain. It shouldn't
Wow.
be the size of a brain. Yeah, but it's infiltrated with fat, with body fat. So it's just real serious.
Yeah. So one of the things I was looking up, I was kind of looking up some stuff and kind of getting some info from Google. So I kind of want to just talk about what they were saying and your thoughts about that. Um, but what would you say is best in your diet for wanting to lose visceral fat and wanting to reduce that and get rid of it?
It's just keeping your sugars, like we talked about earlier with your diet. Your sugars, you can't have excess sugar floating around your body all the time because insulin gets secreted to deal with that. Insulin slows down your metabolism. It can also speed it up, but it transports nutrients into the cells. So if you have a lot of sugar always in your diet, either alcohol, potatoes, yams, bread, all that breaks down to sugar, or straight sugar. If it's always in your system, that means you have insulin constantly in your system pushing water into your cells. And so that's when your body fat goes up and up and up and up. And then you have a certain amount you're born with. And then your body says, okay, we got to make more because they're going to keep eating this way. And then more. And then you keep going. And it starts. So it goes to visceral fat. It just keeps going. And then it starts invading the organs. So if you're there already, it's just a matter of time and just slowly change the way your body is using fats, and storing fat. It's basically storing water in the fat cells, but you don't want to create more. That's why liposuction is interesting because they can pull it out from where you normally have it. But if you don't change your diet, you'll just expand the areas that they didn't lipo. So the fat cells will just start getting clumpy there. So, it's a lot of these surgeries. I don't like them, and only because the person should do some changing up here. So when the surgery is done, they don't have that problem ever again.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I have with it. If you can change them here and get them already doing the right things and changing their lifestyle before the surgery, then they're already doing all the right stuff already. But you're
Yeah.
going to take a person from doing everything wrong, change their whole mechanics, and then put them on the strictest diet they've ever seen. Now, okay, not only do you have to watch your sugars, but now you also got to watch your carbonated water. Now you got to watch this. You can only eat this much, and you can't do this, and you can't do sugar. Like they've been from doing everything wrong. Now they got to do everything perfect. Come on, that's not even realistic. And
Yeah.
that's why most people fail because they never changed their relationship with food. They never said, okay, like me, I changed my relationship with food a long time ago. I eat to live. I don't live. I eat to live. I want something that tastes good, yes, but I don't eat just because it's there. I don't care if
Yeah.
I'm not hungry. I don't care. I don't eat. I will be hungry eventually, and then I'll eat. And that's how I look at it. I'll eat. I'll be all right.
So one of the things that I found when that question came up on Google, they were saying this is what it says there. It says studies suggest that more calcium and vitamin D in your body may be linked to less visceral fat. So load up on leafy greens like collards and spinach, tofu, and sardines are also good picks, as are dairy
Mm.
foods like yogurt, cheese, and milk. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, they're telling you all the stuff that doesn't cause problems to those areas, but they're not going to take away your visceral fat if everything else you eat is pizza and chicken. You know what I mean? Like you didn't get
Yeah.
visceral fat because you weren't eating broccoli. That's not why you have it. See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So a lot of these
So
things,
they're
yeah,
doing it
I'm
to
not,
tell you what to take
that's
out.
part of it. That's part of a good diet, but that's only part of the good diet. But that,
Yeah.
yeah, everything they said is basically what my clients eat, but that's part of a good diet. That's not the whole thing. That's not the whole diet. And you got to
Yeah.
do it for a lifetime. It's not something you just do for 12 weeks. You do. This is a life change. You have to actually say, I don't do that anymore. That's no longer how I eat. Otherwise, it doesn't work. If you say I can't, people rebel against can't. Their friends, oh, come on, yeah, you can. But if you go, I don't really eat that way no more, then people leave you the hell alone because you just don't eat that way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound so negative. It actually sounds positive. I just don't eat
Hmm.
that way. Or I can't. That whole I can't brings the energy down. Everybody feels bad, so they want to force food on you because they feel bad for you. Oh, you can eat this. Just like an alcoholic, right? Who's like, oh, I can't drink. I'm not drinking anymore. Oh, you can't have one for my birthday? No, dude, I just told you. Like,
Whether it's a shot or a piece of cake, right?
I thought that was your friend. Like, why would your friend tell you? When somebody tells me they're doing something for themselves, I go, man, good for you. And I support it. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna rob banks.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm not gonna support you, but good for you.
Hey, I don't say that that's a good idea, but
No, and I'm leaving. I want to be on camera with you or nothing. Our friendship from now on is over. But good luck. I wish you the best. I don't want to know what bank. I don't hear nothing.
right? I may have had a family member who robbed a bank and things didn't turn out so great for them.
You might
So
have. You might have. Yeah.
one of the things I actually was reading on Google is, so I was looking at like what and the diet should change. And then also I noticed that they had something about what exercises target your visceral fat. So this is what they say on
Oh, what
what
did they
Google
say about
says
this?
what.
I'm curious to hear this one.
Yeah, so it says that exercise that targets the visceral fat. The visceral fat responds well to regular endurance exercises such as running, biking, rowing, swimming that elevate your heart rate. As your body uses fat to fuel exercise, it'll start using your visceral stores. Eat a well balanced diet, it says.
Yeah, we talked
You
about that
know, which I
earlier.
don't think it's,
We
yeah,
talked
it's
about that
not,
earlier.
yeah.
Remember I said if you're not taking carbs in, your body will use stored energy.
Yeah.
But it's not just this. I don't. The only thing I don't like about that is not only the visceral fat. It does all of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
the body that it doesn't go. Oh, let's go after the visceral fat. No, it just goes after the fat. It goes after
It helps a little bit, right?
No, no, but yeah, but I mean, they're right. Yeah, but that's just how you get rid of. That's how you do. That's how fat works. Period. I mean, you get your heart rate to a certain place, and there's also too much. Like there's a cardio point where you're 80% of your max, and 60% of your max is for fat burning only. So a lot of people do too hard of cardio and they burn in muscle. That's why bodybuilders, like people used to like clown us because our cardio wasn't fast. And I'm like, no, I'm not going, I'm not running a race. I need my heart rate to be at a certain place. So I'm only burning fat. I'm not tapping into my muscle. So even when it comes to cardio, there's a right way to do it. And then that goes by, I teach
So like,
people by their breathing. Like I can tell you by your breathing. If you're panting, you're going too hard. But if you can hold a little conversation with short sentences to catch your breath, that's about right.
that's kind of interesting that you said that because I was reading this article. The author was Johns Hopkins University and John Hopkins Health System, and they were talking about that exact same thing. He says for one of the tips to reduce belly fat, he was saying that um, add your aerobic exercise in, but making sure that it's not taking away like your muscle and stuff like that. And he says you should be able to walk comfortably or you should be able to talk comfortably, but you shouldn't be able to belt a song out. So I thought that was kind of an interesting way to kind of gauge where you're at in if you're going too much or if you need to, step it up a little bit. So
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
really saw it like that before.
Well,
So
because you're not paying. Well, I got to pay attention to when people are like even when we're training, I can tell somebody what their heart rate is in the middle of a workout. and they'll look at their
Mhm.
watch. And I told this one mark he was doing. I said, he goes, man, what about my heart rate? I go, probably 142. He looked at it. He was like, 141. How the heck did you? And I'm like, I've been doing this a long time. But once I read you and I see, I'm like, okay, that's why I like a lot. I'm gonna do a thing on virtual training because a lot of people go, how does that work? Like, I need somebody right there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I am right there. Like, but because I'm not physically there. Like,
Oh yeah, you're sitting there on the phone yelling at me, telling me to do more
yeah,
stuff.
I'm trust me, I'm right there. Yeah. I see everything. I see you can't cheat. I see that. I see it all. I'm like, that's way too light. Put some more weight on. People, I don't think people understand. Doctors do surgeries that way. They'll have another doctor like freaking out of town and he's telling the doctor what to do through a camera. Okay. If you can do a heart surgery that way, I think I can train some. but um, but
So
yeah, yeah.
thinking about like what I've been working on for my goal for the end of the month, usually how I do my workouts is I usually focus pretty much on my weight training, right? And so I usually try to do like 3 days a week where I'll weight train, and then I'll do a day in between where I rest. And I was kind of wondering as I'm getting closer
Are you
to
doing any
my
cardio? Are you doing any cardio?
I haven't really been besides within my workout. Like I'll do some cardio that I'll do like the weighted balls and I'll squat and throw it back up, like that kind of type of cardio, but nothing like running on the treadmill or anything like that.
Well, I don't want you
So
to
what I'm
run.
kind of wondering if
I don't
that's a
want you
good
to
thing
run.
that I
Yeah,
could add in.
you need some treadmill time or step
Yeah.
mill. But you need let's just start with 30 minutes since you're not doing anything. So do
Okay.
30 minutes 4 times a week. And that's
Okay.
also going to speed your metabolism up because I don't want you eating food just to eat it. I want you to eat it because you're hungry.
Yeah.
So soon as you notice, oh wow, I'm hungry. Say normally you eat your first meal when you get up. You'll wake up starving every day, and that first meal shouldn't last 4 hours like it shouldn't last that long. I don't even know if it's lasting that long or you're ignoring your stomach.
And that could be it. I do work a lot, so I tend
Because
to
a lot
forget.
of women do that. They will ignore. They get so used to ignoring it, they don't even know they're ignoring it anymore.
Yeah.
And and what happens is when you feel hungry and you don't eat and then it goes away, it's because the pancreas is pushing sugars back into your stomach because you're not eating and you're gonna
Mhm.
pass the hell out. So I had to. You got to learn to pay attention to that. I was just talking to somebody this morning about the same exact thing. I'm like, because she gets low blood sugar and she's passed out a bunch of times from it. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, well then you need to have a protein shake ready to go and keep it, ready to go. So if you feel any queasiness, you take the freaking shake. Don't question
Yeah.
it, just take it because you're not taking time to eat. You're not paying attention. You're just walking, and people just build the habit. That's all it is. And then once you stop ignoring it, that habit will change because we're talking 5 minutes. We're not talking you're going to the restaurant to have a sit down meal. You just going, cracking a shake, drinking it, and going back to work.
Yeah.
so this is something that she needs to start doing, and you need to start doing too. So yeah, I
I think
want you.
it's a good thing to talk about because I think there are so many of us women out there who do that and want to have different results, better results. And I think that's something that's easy for me to overlook because I've done that throughout my life so many times where I'll just put
Everybody.
that hunger feeling away, right?
Maybe it's nothing. My marketing lady said that she was like, because the first thing I ask people is about their hunger and what they do. Well, I'm not hungry till 10. I'm not hungry till 11. And I'm like, how's that coffee? Drinking that coffee in the morning? Yeah, maybe if you drink coffee, you'd be hungry. Oh shoot! And then I take the coffee away, and they're hungry in the morning. I'm like, voila! So, well, can you have coffee? Yeah, but could you have it after you eat? Like eating is going to actually put muscle on you, not coffee. So,
That might even be part of why I last so long in the morning too, is because I'll usually have my shake and then I'll have coffee afterwards.
yeah, you
So
just filling
for
your belly, getting all fat and juicy. Ooh, baby.
Would you recommend for me to not be having that coffee afterwards? My problem is I wake up so early and I
Honestly,
have
the coffee shouldn't. Once your metabolism is really on fire, coffee don't touch it. Okay, I wake up in the morning hungry, and like my clients are like 6, 7, and I normally just train them and then I go eat. and I'm drinking that tea, trust me, it don't. I'm the whole time I'm going, okay, okay. So when your metabolism is really on fire, coffee won't stop nothing because caffeine actually speeds your metabolism up. So it shouldn't really suppress your appetite, but sometimes it does. With some people, it does. So yeah, but if you didn't drink the coffee, try it. Don't do your shake. I mean, do your protein in your with your oatmeal, and don't do the coffee. See how long before you notice you're hungry, and then do the
Mhm.
coffee after that. But once your metabolism speeds up, it won't matter.
Okay.
Right now, it's just a little slow, and training will do that. Training will get your once your body needs, once your body starts asking for nutrients, we're gonna do that in the gym. We're gonna train, break down those muscle fibers so the muscle fibers are like, all right, we're beat up, and that's when your body starts getting hungrier sooner and you start needing more because you're burning more. So, and that's why that's why it's important to have low body fat and more muscle is because you keep a metabolism as you get older, like my age, where metabolism is slowing down. My muscle burns my fat, burns my calories for me, where my natural body isn't burning them as good as it used to. See
Yeah.
what I mean? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the leaner I stay, the more the higher my metabolism will stay for me.
Yeah. And I think that that's an important thing that not very many people, when they do like these fad diets and they do all these different things that they don't understand, I don't think that they really understand how important that is to have your metabolism working for you and all that goes into it. So I think I've loved this conversation today and being able to learn all about that and what changes I need to make because I'm ready to get to my best self and I'm excited. I'm going to make some good changes this week. So I
Yeah,
think this will be
let's,
really good.
let's train. Let's train. When's your next workout session? When are you working out again?
I'm gonna be working out tonight
What
after I
time?
get off work. I usually go around 5 my time, so that's about 6 your time.
Well, let me know. I'm supposed to go pick up my stepkids from the airport, so I'm not sure what time they're coming in because they got delayed. But if I'm here, yeah, and let's go through the workout because I know your intensity is not where it needs to be. So I want you to get your intensity there because that's really what it is how hard you're training, not how heavy, how hard, how hard. Yeah, a lot of people think it's about how much you do, how fast you move, and jumping up and down and all that crazy stuff. If you have bad knees, how do you get in shape, right? If you can't jump, you don't have to do none of that. You just need to train. When you train, you need to train hard and push yourself and make yourself do things that make you question if you can do them and do them
Yeah,
anyway. And that's when
yeah,
your intensities are like, well, I don't know if I can get 2 more, but I'm gonna try anyway. I don't know if I can
yeah,
go up 5 pounds, but I'm gonna give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
yeah.
All right.
I like it. I think
All
that
right.
sounds awesome.
Boop,
And
boop.
then tell me a little bit more about so this next week is when you're starting to talk a lot about the
Yeah.
visceral
Yeah,
fat
I'm just
and
gonna go through just a 5-day thing. I might do it. I might start it Monday. If I don't, we'll see. But I just started Monday, but because I haven't really promoted it. But um,
you're gonna do
next
that
week
in the group. You're gonna kind of promote and let us
I'm gonna
know
do
when
it.
in
I'm
the
gonna
group.
do it, but I'm gonna do it on my personal page too, and then invite people to the group to learn more. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of talk. I did it before, but I just kind of tell the story about visceral fat, how it affects women, just kind of a little bit of what we talked about. But I just go into it a little more. That's all.
Awesome. I'm excited for that. So you guys make sure that you are looking for that for him posting next week and being able to be a part of that because there'll be some amazing information that you guys should soak in. And thank you so much, Coach Idris. This
And I'm
was
also
a great
thinking about doing a challenge soon this month. Get people up, maybe 4 or 5 people, volunteers, and we do some. I work with them for a month, and they do it in a
yeah,
group. Yeah. So yeah.
yeah, let's do
Look
it.
at
I
you.
think
Look
that
at you. I want to be in that group.
hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna be maybe a 3-week, 21 days, something. I work with them for 21 days, and we'll
Awesome.
see who does the best, and then I don't know, we'll maybe come up with some prizes, maybe
Yeah, I
discount
love
on
it.
training, discount on training if they want to, so they can continue, whatever, something like that. It'll be something like that.
Awesome, awesome. I like it. Okay, well, thank you, Coach Idris. This was a lot of fun
Yes, it
and
was.
always love your information. So thank you
Great
so
copy.
much.
All right. See you later. Have a good weekend.
See ya.
Boy.
Okay, you guys, this was another great topic to be able to discuss today and just take in all that information because there's a lot to be learned here. And, if you didn't know what visceral fats were before, hopefully this gave you an idea of what they are and how to better yourself and reduce that and make your organs healthy because body positivity is kind of going out of control these days. And really, what we need to focus on is being able to get a healthy us. And that's healthy physically, that's healthy mentally and nutritionally. And it really has to do what's going on inside your body than what the results of what people see on the outside of your body. So, really be in tune and understand and be honest with yourself. If you're walking up the stairs and you can't get to the top without being out of breath, then you know that there's things like that that are telling you that you need to make a change. And it's really about what's going on the inside. It's not about the way you look, it's about how it makes you feel while doing different activities in your life. And wouldn't it be amazing to be able to do those activities without any problem and to live a healthier life and be a better you? So, love you guys. You guys have an amazing weekend, and I will see you next week. See ya.